Welcome everybody. This is going to be a training session on eCrime. The aim of this session is potentially to raise your awareness around eCrime. Okay, so by the end of the session you'll be able to describe the 5 types of eCrime and state one way to protect yourself in a written test. Training will run for approximately 20 minutes. We will cover a background into the different types of eCrime, an exciting activity for you all, followed by the test. So, what do you think the benefits are going to be around learning about eCrime?
Well, you're less likely to have somebody take money out of your bank account that you shouldn't pay.
Yeah, good. So hopefully you can take something away, and hopefully you'll learn to protect yourself a bit better when you're using your PC, doing your online banking, when you're shopping, etc. Okay, so would anyone like to have a guess at the total card fraud losses in the UK in 2010? So for last year, hazard a guess.
£2 million.
2 million.
I'm going to go 20 million.
Higher still. Right, the actual figure is £365 million.
£1 million a day?
In the UK in 2010, that's card fraud, so that includes all kinds of card fraud, and the eCrime figure is included within that. Who would like to guess at just the eCrime figure, how many million you think that was?
I would say 70% of that would be crime.
Right, okay. It's not quite that high just yet, but it is climbing. So for 2010, out of 365 million, it was actually £46 million worth of that was committed online.
So just under 50% is getting its creeping its way up.
Well, yeah. So potentially, what we're seeing in terms of figures is general card fraud, the usual ways to skim information from ATMs and stuff. Those figures are coming down, and the eCrime figures are on the rise. Okay, so does anybody know what the two main types of eCrime are? I don't expect you to.
Identity theft.
Yeah, that's kind of facilitated by one of the ways of eCrime. So if I just give you the answers.
One of them, I think it's called phishing, when they kind of send you an email and they try and extract the information that they need
Yeah,
to
that's
actually
very good.
access
That
the
is
file.
one of them, yeah. So one's phishing and one is Trojans, which is a type of virus. Okay. So, Trojan viruses are actually broken down into 3 different types. You've got 3 main types, should I say. You've got keystroke loggers, session recorders, and data theft Trojans. And then you've got phishing, and there's also another alternative, which is called phishing.
So is a Trojan like a Trojan horse? It comes in and it sits, and then things come out and get you?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
It's kind of like hidden in the background. You don't know it's going to happen until you do something specifically that's going to kind of release it.
Pretty much, yeah. So, if we consider Trojans first, what is a Trojan?
It's a horse.
It's a horse, yeah.
I've never seen a horse on a computer.
Also, it's a virus, but yeah. A Trojan is a type of malware, is a computer term, but it's malicious software basically, which will be downloaded onto your computer, which will do great harm. So what does the term Trojan mean to you, Andy?
It means that it's a horse that was made of wood that went up to castle gates, and there was guys inside it, and when they all went to bed at night, the guys came out and they took over the castle.
Yeah, good. So that's exactly what I've got written down. It's the old Greek myth about them giving the wooden horse to the Trojans, and then ultimately they captured Troy because of that. I'm sure you're all aware of that. Yeah, good. Okay, so the three main types of Trojan, as we've discussed, are keystroke loggers. So we'll discuss keystroke loggers first. So who would like to have a guess what they think a keystroke logger is or does.
Somebody who logs your keystrokes and follows what you're doing and then replicates it.
So, yeah, potentially, yeah. So basically, you'll have a Trojan on your PC, and every time you're typing, that keystroke is basically logged within the Trojan, which can then be accessed by the fraudster. So typically they can access it by having the Trojan, like they'll build the Trojan to send the information via email, or they can come in through a link that they've put to your PC within the Trojan and just access that information. So yeah, it's pretty scary stuff. Okay, so if we consider the second one, which is session recorders, or otherwise known as a session watcher, what would you think that does?
Just watches or records everything that you do. So if you've got a pop-up box that's asking you to put in specific information, they're actually recording what information you're putting in.
Yeah.
With regards to the website you're going to and how you're going to use it.
Yeah, exactly. So literally everything you do within that session, whether it's Facebook, eBay, online banking, BBC News, it will be recorded or watched by the fraudster. Again, pretty scary stuff. And the third type of Trojan is a data theft Trojan. So what do you think a data theft Trojan does?
Just steal everything on your computer.
Yes, basically, as opposed to sitting there watching your session, recording your passwords, etc., it will root through your hard drive and find that information if you've previously put it on there, if that makes sense.
That's why I say then put your passwords in the document on your computer.
Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't really be clicking the remember my password either, so because that will download a cookie to your computer which would be potentially accessible by one of these Trojans. So just some key things to remember. Okay, so I've kind of already given you the answer. If we consider phishing, and we know what phishing is, so Emma, if you just want to say again what phishing is.
They send out like an email or something that's linked very close to something you already exists of, and they try and fish that information out. You're trying to get it, because if they've got your name, date of birth, things like that, your password, then they'll be able to access your account.
Yeah, basically, that's kind of one form. But the main form is that it will be an email, say from Barclays, for example, or masquerading to be from Barclays, should I say?
Go into your account.
Yeah, it'll be pretty convincing. It will normally say, we need you to update your details or something along those lines. Please click this link, which will take you to a fake website, basically, where potentially any details you input will be harvested and then used to commit fraud or, even worse, identity theft. Okay, so there's a phone version of phishing. Who would like to have a guess at what that is? It was just on the screen.
Phishing.
Exactly. So phishing or voice phishing is exactly the same, but instead of an email, you'll just get a phone call, and they'll ring you and they'll say, "Hi, we're calling from Barclaycard. We need to update this information. Before we do that, can you take you through like ID and V identification, the usual malarkey that you have on the phone," and then they'll potentially try and coax your card information out of you, and once they have that, you can wave goodbye to your money.
In those cases, do you always kind of go, I'll update it later, hang up, and call Barclays yourself?
Yeah, so I'm going to move on to how to protect yourself, but basically that's one good piece of advice there, Emma. Okay, so what software do you think you should have on your PC to help protect you from Trojans, James?
Antivirus software?
Yeah, good. Yeah, so you need to have an antivirus on your computer without doubt, and firewalls as well are helpful. Most PCs these days have firewalls built in, so it's just a case of getting an antivirus. Once you have that antivirus, you want to make sure you keep it up to date. So if you ever see an update for your antivirus, don't ignore it and think, "Oh, remind me in a month," or whatever the case is. Just update it. It doesn't normally take too long, and it could potentially save you money from getting stolen. Okay, so how do you think you could go about protecting yourself from phishing scams, phishing mails, or even the phone version of phishing anybody?
Always contact your bank.
Yeah.
If you get an email or anything, contact your bank first, and you phone them on the number that you've got for them.
Yeah, exactly, Andy. So yeah, basically, it's just using sort of self-caution, if you like. So if you see an email from Barclays or eBay and you think it's suspicious, don't click links and don't reply filling out information. I would just delete it and contact the company, like you say, on a number that you know is that company, so off the back of a statement if it's your bank, etc.
Is it possible that if you open the email, then that can start the process?
Potentially, yes. So also you need to be careful. That will normally be an attachment. So an email with an attachment that you don't know where it's come from, don't open the attachment, because that's more than likely going to be your Trojan. That's going to be being installed onto your PC, and then it will carry out its duties, and you can probably wave goodbye to your money. It's pretty scary stuff. Right, I do have an activity for you.
So we're going fishing.
Yeah, you're going to go fishing. What I'd like you to do is just give you a few minutes. There's some examples of phishing or non-phishing emails, screenshots. And I'd just like you to read the examples and just decide for yourself whether you think it's a legitimate email or whether you think it's a phishing scam. Finished, Jill?
Yes, sorry.
That's fine. That's good. Right, okay, so if we just run through these together. The first one, I don't know, Andy, what did you put that down as?
I've got that there as a fishing fraud.
Okay, has anybody got anything different? Stuff. Okay, for the second one, the Lloyd's one, James?
I put that down as fishing, but I might be a bit overly cautious now. Times
Anybody got that one down as a legitimate mail?
I put it down as phishing because I know from experience that Lloyd literally they say go to your account. So literally you come out on your email, you
Yeah.
go access the Lloyd account, and then you start the process
Yes,
from there.
through a link to the website that you know is
Yeah.
legitimate. Okay?
See the information at the very, very bottom line, see the online Lloyd's TSB bank.biz/customer.
Yeah.
Does that tell you, or can tell you if it's a bit dodgy?
That is a technique that fraudsters use. It's called link manipulation. So what they'll do is they'll have a link. It will look pretty much exactly the same as the real link, but it will have a couple of letters added on the end, or yeah, basically. So if, at first glance, it will look like a legitimate link, basically. Moving on, number 3, the Amazon one. Has anybody got? Jill, what have you got that one down as?
Got this fishing.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
I
eBay.
put it down as legitimate then.
You got the Amazon one as legitimate. Okay, that's you potentially just lost some money there, then, Andy.
See, it's not really that much of a problem for me because there's never any money in my account. So.
Okay, the eBay mail, Emma.
How do you put that down as investment? Because they said it's free, it depends on what the next step is. They're saying it's free, so they shouldn't be asking for any type of account details.
But if you look at the 3 steps, go to Power Seller, click on check it out and enter your user ID and password.
Yeah, yes.
The eBay one is actually a legitimate mail.
So I've got that one wrong as well.
Okay. And the Visa mail, the last one, anybody, what have you got that one down as?
I'll say nothing now.
I got fishing.
Yeah, so phishing. Basically, the point I was trying to make there is they're all pretty convincing emails. There is like, I hid one legitimate one in there, just to kind of show you can compare them and make your own mind up. But yeah, the point is really they're all pretty convincing, so you can see how people are easily fooled by it.
So like in that case, in the Visa one, if there's an error on your account, what's the problem with picking up the phone and calling the Visa saying, well, there's an error on my account? What is the error?
Yeah, is there a phone number on that? Sometimes that's what they'll do, they'll put a phone number on it as well for you to
Please
phone them.
call.
Okay, so moving on. If we just do a little recap. Right, so we've covered the 3 main types of Trojan, and we've covered phishing scams and the phone variation. So name the 3 different types of Trojan that we discussed. If I'll pick someone, you can give me one. So Jill, do you want to give me the first one?
It's come to me.
It's because you're confident, that's fine.
Keyboard, something.
Keystroke.
Yeah, keystroke logger, so yeah, that's one.
Data recording was another one.
Yeah.
So that's why I was getting it quick.
And the third one?
Session.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. So a session recorder, a data theft Trojan, and a keystroke logger. Okay, so who would like to explain to me what phishing is quickly?
It's you get a hook on email, and you send it out, and you capture somebody's details if they put in some information,
Yeah,
and then they can rob you.
yes, you can see why they've called it phishing,
But they
basically.
can't spell.
Okay, and what 2 things can you do to protect yourself from Trojan attacks and phishing scams?
Install an antivirus.
Yeah.
And never use the internet.
That'd be wise.
Does it make it, is there a possibility of you getting somebody sitting plugging into your wireless connection?
Yeah, that's kind of a whole different topic altogether, but that is also possible to do. So yeah, that's kind of a bit more IT rather than eCrime.
So just apart from what we're doing, you better just plug a cable into your laptop as opposed to.
I use Wi-Fi at home, but you have to make sure that your Wi-Fi is locked and not accessible.
Password
Just,
protection.
yeah, exactly.
I think most of them now that's how they come with the password and everything already in them.
Yeah.
But it's the people that don't change, they leave them as 0000.
Yeah, but all the big internet providers now have a password in the routers before you even open them.
The key code for the
Yeah.
back as well.
Right, so we're going to move on to the test.
Yes.
We're running out of time.
Thank you.
Literally give you a few minutes, just in your own words. I'd just like you to write the description next to the type that I've written down, and which method out of the two methods of protection would you use. Okay, everybody's finished that, yeah?
Yep.
Great. If we just run through the answers together as a group quickly, you can mark your own. So for keystroke loggers, the description should be
Lots of keys.
exactly, so yeah, it logs your keystrokes. You would use an antivirus to protect yourself. Okay, the data theft Trojan will literally steal your data from your hard drive. Again, should use antivirus. Session recorder will
Record lots of sessions.
exactly, quite literally record your whole session, and you should use an antivirus. Phishing is an email purporting to be from a legitimate company when it is in fact from a fraudster. For that you should use,
Caution.
yeah, exactly, extreme caution, to be honest. And phishing,
The phone criminal.
yeah, is phishing over the phone, and you should again be cautious if you get somebody on the phone pretending to be or purporting to be from a bank. They're probably not. Okay, so congratulations everybody. You've completed your objective, which was to be able to describe 5 types of eCrime and state one way to protect yourself in a written test. So how do you think this course will benefit you in your day-to-day life?
I'll be far more cautious when replying to emails or telephone calls.
Yeah.
Tell family members as well to watch out.
Yeah, good. That is good. So yeah, potentially you can take it away and educate your friends and stuff, and say to them, you know, don't click on links, send me emails, etc. So, do I have any questions at this point?
How would you know if you've got a Trojan on your computer?
That's a good question. Potentially antivirus, if you've got one, should pick it up.
Yeah, sometimes there is a pop-up that says Trojan warning.
But if you do get one and it's not stopped by your antivirus, it can be quite a painful process to get it off of your computer, so you would know if you had one backed out. Yeah. Okay, so that's the end of the session. For the next step, I do have a link if any of you are interested in some further reading, or if you've ever become a victim of a scam, you can actually report it within this website that I'll give to you. It's www.banksafeonline.org. I'll give it to you or write it down for you after the session. Thanks everybody.
25.